guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do a very entertaining email I was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy, he's 39 years old, and he shares his story that many of you will appreciate. All about how in the last few years, all these gals that wouldn't give him the time of day growing up, gals he went to high school with, women he knew in his 20s, all of a sudden are reaching out to him. Because guess what? They're divorced or never got married, and wait for it, they are single MOMs. Looking in their mind, giving him another chance. Well, guess what? He ain't having it. And our guy here, he's done well for himself. I believe he was in the Army, got his life together, all that. And admittedly, you'll see he actually had fun with a couple of them that looked relatively good for their age. But then he was done with them. And let's just say they're not too happy about that, or the fact that he doesn't want gals like them. He wants gals that never, well, you'll see in this story here. And I'll be going to go over here, guys, making the point that you may have been rejected when you're younger, not given the time of day as the majority guys are. But if you move on with your life, you do well for yourself, it's amazing how they'll come back into your life. And I've experienced this, and it's pretty darn funny. So just be aware you guys will have the last laugh eventually. But before I get into the story, guys, come check me out in the men's community over on Patreon or Locals. A lot of guys that come over there and become subscribers or paying supporters. We're having a good time over there. If you join, you can get, for being a paying supporter, you get all my stuff over here, commercial free, as well as exclusive content 2 to 3 times a week. But more importantly, the ability to chat with me and the other guys on there in a censorship-free environment. So come on by and check it out. And again, you can come on for free, just to see what it's all about. And I'll post a link at the top of the comment section. All right. Our guy says, hello, SSM. My name is Phil. I'm fine with using my first name, getting out there. I've been a big fan since 2020. And like the title says, recently, several women I knew in the past have been trying to get back into my life. Well, they always come back. They always come back when things aren't going too well. Either exes or gals that didn't give you the time of day, and they're looking for, a supporter. I'll explain some backstory first. Growing up, I thought I was normal. However, as I've gotten older, I do believe I have an undiagnosed ADHD or Asperger's. I've lived life fine without knowing, and I don't think I need help out there. Well, dude, if you seem fine, then fine. Because of this, I knew I was a bit awkward when it comes to meeting women. I have zero issues making friends with men and befriending them, but I've always been nervous and shy around girls. I believe part of it has to do with the way my older and younger sister used to torment me when I was a kid, and my dad wouldn't let me get any measure of justice. They'd always get a slap on the wrist, and we're told, grow thick skin. Well, that might do it to some people. I mean, you do need to learn to grow thick skin, guys. I agree with you if that's what your dad said. But on the other hand, obviously, they were a bunch of little a-holes. But your sisters obviously saw weakness in you as a kid, and they were pushing your buttons. Kids are cruel. And mean girls, when they're young, can take cruelty to a whole new level. But again, you're having the last laugh on multiple fronts. How's their life going? Ha, ha, ha. Anyway, fast forward to high school, and I became interested in young women. In 9th grade, I lived in Massachusetts in a town called Rockport, and my goodness gracious, there were cuties there. Yes, even in Massachusetts, there are good-looking women. I had never seen brown-skinned young women, either Armenian or suntanned, before, as I lived in some very white areas. And like all 13-year-old boys who didn't do sports, as I don't have a single athletic bone in my body, I struck out one time I asked and was too nervous about rejection to try again and stuck myself in the friend zone like the idiot I was. Well, man, yeah, it's like this. In high school, it's unfortunate, but like early on, junior high, most people, at least when I was a kid, you kind of very quickly get put into a certain group, if you will. And you're pretty much considered to be there forever until you graduate and change. And it's unfortunate. And you can keep asking girls out, and the majority are going to turn you down simply because you're not at a level they think is worthy of them. And it's tough. But when you get out of there, you get a fresh start to change things around. I mean, some people move up from their, where they were, but it's rare in the high school years. But once you get out, you can reinvent yourself. Anyway, I moved back to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 10th grade and worked up some more courage. Each time I asked for a young woman's phone number to go on a date, I wasn't just admonished, I was rebuked pretty harshly. Again, kids are cruel, and so are young girls. As I was a 3.7 GPA throughout high school, I made sure to stay away from these women, and their grades drastically dropped. A small measure of revenge at the time. I would later find out from a friend in middle school who went to high school with me that she knew my little sister was deliberately sabotaging me. Your sister was sabotaging you? What an a-hole. That's right, my own flesh and blood would tell other young women who were interested in a tall, husky guy some pretty horrible crap to ensure that I would never get a date or get laid. If you're wondering about the friend who told me this, she had one boyfriend from high school until she left for the Marine Corps. Your freaking sister is sabotaging you. I'd like to know what happened to your sisters later on in life. Well, the odds are not good. It took me enlisting in the U.S. Army to finally find my spine, balls, and get the yellow out of my skin. Well, there you go. Yeah, the Army, the military will make a man out of you. And fortunately didn't turn you into a white knight. Over the last 18 years, or since I was 23, I'm 39 now, about a dozen women from high school that I have crossed paths with over the years have changed their tune about me. Isn't that amazing how that works? Wouldn't give you the time of day, probably were pretty mean to you as you described, and all of a sudden you said you've run into them. Obviously you stuck around, you come back and stayed, where you came from. You run into them, and they're reaching out to you on Facebook or whatever. Back in the day, I used to go to strip clubs. I don't anymore. One woman specifically called me out by name, as in my full name. She was nude on stage and took a few minutes to talk as she was earning her tips. She told me she was nervous in high school to ask me out. I simply asked for her number so we could talk and hook up later, and she asked for a lap dance. You mean she asked if you wanted a lap dance? I told her I had work and needed her phone number. Guess the hell what? Of course, was told no. I said okay and dipped out. The last time I ever went there, coincidentally. The stripper says she was too nervous to ask you out in high school. I'm not buying that. She was hoping that you would get money off you. Another friend from high school, we will call her Katie, added me when we were 21. We were pretty friendly. I knew she was dating a guy in high school. She was single when we started talking in 2017. Okay, so fast forward some years later. She became pretty flirty suddenly, and while talking, I found out that she would occasionally escort and had done some PRN when she was in California. Okay, so you had two girls you went to high school with you bumped into. One is now a dancer at the club, and another one, also was escorting and did spicy videos in California. Dude, what's with your town? I called Bravo Sierra on this, and she was a bad cutter in high school. But I do acknowledge she was very attractive for a goth girl. However, I include a picture of her in her tattoos. Sadly, she passed away either by sepsis or OD, and I have a feeling about which, as I do not believe her BITCH sister. It includes some pictures of this chick with this goth girl with all the tattoos, and what a perfect example of the hot, craziest girl. This goth girl, she's good looking, but man, in her picture, you can tell by the eyes, she looks crazy. I've had 3 girlfriends since I was 23 when I had my first girlfriend. Yeah, really late. I never learned how to attract a mate. I got stuck in all these places, the same spot, conversation. I have 0 issues with walking up to women. Recently, I would say in the last 7 years, at least once a year, some shadow of the past has tried to reconnect with me on Facebook. That's what they do. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of you guys. Each time it's the same thing. They're very pleasant and nice. 6 of the 7 of the girls managed to stay in relatively good shape, and one just became a land whale, and she won't show her pictures. If people don't show their pictures on social media, then obviously there's a reason for that. Applying the rule of when in doubt, assume the worst, naturally, all of them have kids. So all those gals that reached out to you from the old days are all single MOMs. I mean, you can have fun with them if they're good looking enough and you're careful, but relationships, nope. I have no objection to kids. I love children. I want children of my own, despite the fact I'm turning 40 this September. Most of them have mixed kids, which again is fine with me, as my younger sister has mixed kids, and one of my girlfriends was black. Most of them have multiple kids to multiple dads. There you go. That's definitely a whole parade of red flags there. Multiple kids, multiple daddies. And they're reaching out to you because their perception of you is, oh, this guy will take me. Yeah, he'll provide. I admit to having you-know-what with two of these women who returned, namely because I was a horny guy, and they let me do some things to them. I'm not going to mention what he says here. And it only cost me a few $100 over a few weeks of dating. I'm not proud of that. I do regret it as I'm a Christian, and I've been working hard to strengthen my faith. Well, I guess some of that was frowned upon by the Lord, but, well, you know. The other women, I turned them all down and wanted nothing to do with them, as I told them, and I quote, "Okay, why are you hitting me up now with this confession? You had all those years to say something to me. I'm in my prime, wanting to have a real relationship that included marriage and children, yet you wanted Chad and Tyrone." Girls are probably like, who's Chad and Tyrone? Obviously using the lingo that you got my channel and other channels and all that. Or maybe they had some Chads and Tyrones. Why the hell would I want you now when you're damaged merchandise with too much damn luggage? And I would then block them. That had to feel good. My personal favorite was from this woman I will call Port. Port was the ex-girlfriend of a guy who was my supposed best friend since high school. I last had contact with her in 2008, and she hit me up last month. Oh, so your friend was a girl. She showed me her family, 4 kids to 1 dad, which is absolutely fine. But when she started talking about relationships and inquired about mine, she didn't like it suddenly. She wanted me to hook up with women who were older than 35 and step up to become a stepfather to these women's children. Your former friend from high school is freaking lecturing you about you need to date women older than 35 and you just step up and become a stepfather. Yeah, block. I'm an Orthodox Christian, or at least I'm trying to be better at being one, and I have 0 issues with adoption. In the Christian faith, it's encouraged to adopt orphans into a family as God adopted us into his family. Here's the thing, though. I want my own children first. Dude, nobody can blame you. I have 0 interest in being a startup husband. I'm a veteran, and I get around $2,400 a month, guaranteed the rest of my life. Why would I want to risk paying alimony and child support? Exactly. Exactly, dude. But the thing is, you said yourself, you want your own children first. And obviously, even though you're almost 40, you want to get married right there, but obviously to the right girl. But it's always a risk. You know this. Naturally, my former friend, flipped out and said it was a huge red flag that I'm interested only in women from 18 to 28 years old. Yeah, pretty much. It infuriates them, doesn't it? Tough shit. It's none of your business. I know she has a 15 and 16-year-old, but I'm not interested in people that young. I would certainly hope not, sir. Dude, it's called, illegal. So after reading that, I simply told her I have standards, and my standards are for young women with low body counts to have a family with. I'm not interested in being your startup husband or stepfather to your kids. You had over a decade to communicate your interest with me, and instead you chose some other guy over blah, 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 blah. Enjoy your misery, then I proceeded to block her. Oh, for a second I thought she was trying to lecture you to, date other women. Your age range. I didn't realize and connect the dots. No, she wanted you for her, even though it's about, obviously, getting you to be a provider. Goodbye. That's how it went with 6 of the 7 women who came back into my life. The last one has no children. She's also 39. But I know she has a low body count as she mostly prefers women. She's also grown very submissive towards me, as we've had a few fun occasions when she's desperate to pay off a DUI fine. Who are these women? Where the hell's your town with these types of gals here? While she said she's willing to have at least one child, I'm still handling the situation like it's a radioactive material and being ultra careful. I'm ready to end it with her on the first sign of bull crap, so I'm going to enjoy having her company. And assuming she passes my test, we'll see where it goes. No, dude, if she generally prefers women over men, this is not someone to build a relationship with. I get that you're 39. I get that you want to have kids. I get you say that she, it seems like the only reason she has a low body count of guys is because she's into girls. Okay? Look, to each their own on that in terms of like her preferences. But I've done too many stories of guys that got involved with girls that were bi, and they may have turned off the urges for a while, but they eventually always come back. You do not need that. You want to have fun with her, knock yourself out, be careful, but in terms of a long-term thing, it's just not worth the risk. And I know you know this. On a side note here, I'm still awkward about meeting women. I never learned how to do that. I just get stuck after saying, "Hi, my name is such and such. What's your name?" I don't know where to go from there. All the advice my friend gave me is effing worthless. I'm consistently told, talk to them, and I don't know what the F that means, as I don't know how to chat. Well, dude, you need practice. Like anything, just go out. And what I mean by that is, anytime you have to go somewhere to buy shit or deal with people, just practice talking to people. And I know it seems awkward and weird, so in the beginning, literally just smile and say hello. How's your day going? When you're at the checkout of the grocery store, okay, you can skip going to the automated checkout, go in line, and talk to women that you have no attraction to whatsoever. So you don't give a shit. And all you have to do is walk up and say, how's your day going? And usually being a typical woman, they'll blah, 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 really. And then when things get better, you can talk a little bit. Asking questions gets you very far. And then as you get more comfortable with it, then get in the checkout line with a remotely attractive girl you're kind of attracted to. And, hey, how's your day going? Blah, 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 Practice. That's how you do it, And you have to learn not to give a shit. And I get it can be terrifying for some guys that social anxiety and all that. But look, you want to get better at something, you got to practice and face rejection, But because obviously you don't want all those girls that reach out to you on Facebook because they're all single MOMs with multiple kids from multiple different daddies. That ain't going to work. But practice. Give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. And they reject you. Who freaking cares? Just don't be a dick about it. But I guarantee you, over time, you'll get better. Anyway, thank you, SSM, for reading this. Please do keep doing what you're doing and helping guys like me do better in life. He also says, P.S. My late older sister turned me onto R-Pill content as she was tired of seeing me single and miserable. Your late older sister? Shit. Well, sounds like obviously you patched things up later in time. Well, she redeemed herself from her childhood crap if she turned you on to R-Pill stuff. So, well, there you go. And if she redeemed herself, then in that case, I'm sorry for your loss. But, well, man, I'm glad that you wrote in. I'm glad that you got things together on multiple fronts. And you get to have the last laugh. But this happens a lot. It's happened to me, guys. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of you. They reach out after all those years. And it's funny when you see some of these pictures, it's like, whoa, holy Lord Jesus, what happened to her? It's like Jessica ate Jessica there because she's so damn big or whatever, It's amazing how some, but I will say this. There are some gals I went to high school with that looked damn good in high school. They look damn good today. And there were also some girls I went to high school with that definitely were the ugly ducklings. They didn't look too good, maybe acne and just all these things. And you look at them now in their 40s, because I'm 48, and it's like, God damn, what the hell does she do? She looks great. I'm being serious here. And yes, you can have good-looking chicks in their 40s. It's just not the same as their 20s, but still. But anyhow, so bro, practice, do what you got to do, but just don't get involved in a relationship with this girl who's more into girls simply because it's the low-hanging fruit. That's not a good idea, even though you want kids. So, good luck to you, man. Write to me in the future. See how you're doing. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.